Okay, we got some good work in today, some situational work, punting, kicking, some live work. So again, just trying to continue to, prepare our football team. So when we get to Texas, we've got not only our team prepared in every way fashionable, but we've have live situations going into the opener. We're still evaluating. We're still trying to, really, for us, continue to create competitive situations. But, what I think I like the most is, we went essentially with, 9 consecutive days for the first time, and our guys gave us great effort. They're in very good physical condition, and really pleased with the work that we've gotten to this point. So another good day. We'll give them off tomorrow, and then come back at it on Monday. But this will be their first day off tomorrow since we got back here. We had our military workouts and went right to Culver, so this will be their first day off. So with that, open up to questions.
Can you update us on Jerron Jones?
Yeah, he has an MCL, which will require surgery next week, which will put him out for the year. So we'll get that. I think he's scheduled to get it done either Tuesday or Thursday, but it was a third-degree MCL. Got rolled up in an 11-on-11 situation, kind of a freak deal. Just, one of those things you just can't plan on. He was standing up, guy fell down, rolled up on him, and had his knee braces on and everything. So just one of those things you can never prepare for. But we're going to certainly wish him the best in his recovery, and he's got a great attitude about it, and he'll be back next year, with a year of eligibility left, and I'm sure he'll give everything he has.
What does Plan B there look like right now? Is it Cage? Is it Tillery? Is it?
It'll be Jerry, and Jerry will be in there. Cage will be in there. Those two guys will play the one technique. Then we'll figure out who that third guy is. We'll probably activate Elijah Taylor. He'll probably go over to the 3 technique. Physically very strong. I think might be one of our strongest defensive linemen. I think he's 225, 25 times. So, he's better suited for the 3 technique. He's athletic and move, so he can give us some depth there. Because we're going to play Jerry at the 3, so now we'll move Jerry back to the nose. So Jerry, Daniel, maybe Jacob, that's probably our inclination right now at the nose.
Thoughts of maybe Isaac Rochelle moving outside like you did against LSU?
Well, I mean, everything is situational. We play 2 option teams, so the defense looks different, in those situations. But, if you're talking about our base defense, Isaac will not play there.
How about Procise and Barajas today? What was up?
CJ's got a hip flexor. We PRP'd him earlier in the week. I'd say he's probably 10 days out before we get him back full go, 100%. We'll start moving him on Monday and gradually, get him back to full stride. So I would say 10 days, this is 3, so about a week from today, we expect to get him back full go. Barajas had a grade 2 hamstring pull. We PRP'd him. His was more significant. I'd say he's probably 2 weeks.
How does Procise affect things, being out 10 days in terms of, being out 10 days, obviously, as you continue to try to get him into the mix and get up, full-time as a running back?
He knows the offense so well. We've felt really good about, his tracks, his run tracks, and his ability to know the offense. I think how he affects is, more than anything else, is making sure that we don't wear out Folston. So we brought Josh Anderson in to take carries at that position as we continue to develop the freshmen. And, I think that's how it impacts us. So it's just getting through the next week or so and keeping the wear and tear off of Folston more than anything else. And Josh can do that. he's big, he's physical, he knows the offense. He's been here for 4 years, so he provides us, some depth there that allows us to really, protect Folsom in that short period of time.
Besides what he does on the field, how does missing Jerron's personality, the voice?
We won't miss his personality. Believe me, he was already there in the huddle, joking it up with the guys. He had the break today. He's a guy that needs to stay around the team. It's part of who he is. It's, the team is very important to him, and he's somebody that will travel with us, be around the team. So we'll keep that contact with him. It's important that he stays close to the team because it's really, again, something that's important to him, and he won't be too far away.
I noticed Stanley was getting on a particular player and showing that kind of leadership. Have you seen that from a lot of guys so far this?
We've seen it from a number of them. Stanley, Nick Martin, Joe Schmidt, Matthias Farley. I could name probably a half dozen guys, maybe a dozen guys that are on him pretty hard. Ronnie was on Malik the other day. He's really taken this role of holding others to a high standard, to where we, really feel good about where we are with the leadership, but very vocal.
Time to look at the freshmen. Any thoughts on maybe some guys who can help you at this point?
Oh, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of freshmen that are going to see playing time and contribute. I think you saw a couple of guys on defense, Crawford, Coleman. Both those guys are going to contribute. I think that they stand out. Coney is going to contribute for us. I think that, from an offensive standpoint, C.J. Sanders has the ability to contribute as a freshman. EQ, Equanimous, has the ability to contribute as a freshman for us. Alizé Jones, he's got an opportunity, maybe one of the freshmen back. So there's a number of freshmen in that class, not to mention, obviously, Yoon, who's going to kick for us. So 6, 7, whatever that number is, those guys will contribute.
CJ in particular, we saw him take the punt back today. What has he kind of shown you to carve out?
Elusiveness, extremely. He can cut full speed. Some of our guys have got straight line speed, but they don't have the ability to cut at full speed. He's got the ability to cut at full speed, which we haven't had that in my time here. It's something that has been lacking, and he has that ability to cut at full speed. And so he becomes a weapon from that standpoint, whether it be in, some of the fly sweep stuff. He's elusive in catching the football, screen game, maybe in the return game. We'll see how that plays out. But certainly a guy that can be a weapon for us.
Would you prefer him to be the punt returner so that Fuller could just concentrate on wide receiver and not have to risk anything with him, or?
I don't know if I would say prefer as much as if he emerges at that position, I would feel great about it because we know what Will can do with his speed and elusiveness as a screen runner. He's very elusive when he runs screens too. So I feel if CJ can beat him out, we're pretty talented there. So we're going to continue to work both of them. And it could be a situation where Will needs a blow, and we can put CJ back there and feel very comfortable.
Brad, what are you getting out of Avery Sebastian? What do you envision his role being?
Yeah, we're pleased with him. I thought we were going to get more of a situational guy, option, box safety, but he's shown himself to know our defense pretty good. He picks up things very well. Pretty smart guy. So he's done some good things for us. Gives us, another guy back there with some experience, good tackler. But I think the thing that stood out for us right away was that he's got a good football sense, understands the game pretty good.
Guys, from your time
talking about Jones, it's got to be tough for him. I know it's next man in, you move forward, but when you think about a guy and the hopes that he had for this year, do you talk to him or just kind of say, hey, look at the future? I mean, it's probably a teaching moment for a lot of the players.
It is. I mean, I think, we all know that this game ends quickly, and I think it reminds all of our players of that. But, injuries are tough. You try to show as much, empathy for your players, and that you're going to care for them, and that I think that what they want to hear more than anything else is that they're not discarded after an injury, that they're going to be part of the team, they're going to be, embraced by the coaches and the teammates, even after an injury. I think that's the most important thing, because after an injury, you're like, all right, you're just not going to talk to me, right? I don't mean anything to you guys anymore. So I think it's important to make sure they feel as though they're still part of the team. So I make sure that I reemphasize that to Jerron, and that we want his personality, we want him around the team. And heck, it's Notre Dame. All you need is one good fall. You play well for one fall here at Notre Dame, it's an on-Broadway play. Everybody's going to see you. And just remind him of that. If he has a really good fall next year, he'll get plenty of suitors.
How important was it to get Jerry in during spring practice to get him not only some experience with the defense, but the conditioning too?
Well, he was a well-conditioned player coming in, but invaluable to have him here in the spring, given the fact that, obviously he's going to be in obviously a pretty prominent role for us on the defensive side of the ball. So, that obviously was a big plus for us. He knows the defense pretty well. And the more he's here, the more he's comfortable with being put in that role of going out and playing as a freshman. So, real big for us.
In light of the Jones news, any update with Williams or Russell for that matter, with their statuses? Eshak?
No, none on either at this point.
All right. What were Robinson? Looks like you got shaken up in practice.
Poked in the eye.
Oh, okay.
Brian, can you talk about your decision to have your Kaiser and Wimbush live today, and what you took from their play?
Yeah, I think I wanted to see them. Look, when you put a red jersey on, it's hard to evaluate them sometimes as truly who they are as a quarterback, whether they're somebody that can make plays on the run, how they are physically, their ability to run the football, because we want to be able to run the football with our quarterbacks too. And I think sometimes you hamstring them, you can't really evaluate them. And, I think we're still evaluating them in terms of what they can and can't do. And so that's why I put them in the blue jerseys today. And we got a good idea of what Malik can do in the running game. So it really wasn't that for him today. But those two kids in particular, I kind of wanted to see them on the perimeter with our zone read option. We ran quite a bit of zone read option with both those guys, and I wanted to give them a fair chance to read it. So if you're a red jersey on, you have a tendency to give it out, even though you got a red jersey on. Now you put a blue jersey on, you really have to read it out, and I wanted to grade them out fairly.
Do you want to see separation between those two?
No, I don't think I come into the office saying I'm looking for separation, but I want to put them in a position where if there is, there can be. And I think the best way to do that is to give them the opportunity to play the game live and play real football.
After 9 days, where's Malik at? What do you like from him?
I think what I like about him, extremely coachable. I like that he's focusing in on some of the detail areas that are so important at the quarterback position. Red zone functionality, management of the offense in its smallest details, communication, the real important elements that don't get talked about or maybe even not even seen at 5,000 feet, but, are seen up close. So really, going from like big picture stuff to really fine tune, quarterback, particulars that he's really honing in on. And that's what I like right now. And he's doing a lot of that stuff really well.
The freshman that you mentioned on defense, Coleman, Crawford, and then on offense, Sanders, those guys who are going to step in and contribute, are they at the level you expected them to be at in mid-August, or are any of them exceeding your expectations?
You come in every year and you go, all right, you unwrap that present and you're like, all right, I like this one, not so much here, and he's not ready, and that's more than I thought. It's every year, you know. Some guys build as a superstar, and he comes in and he's not so much. It just happens every year. We knew Crawford was a football player. When I saw him block 3 extra points when the game was over, coming off the edge, I said, that guy's a football player. I don't care if he's 5'5". We're going to take him. And he's proven to be that. He knows our defense already. He knows our calls at the nickel position. And he's already helping our safeties in certain situations in terms of, you know, overriding some calls. The kid's a smart football player. He gets it. He's just got a knack for the game. Coleman, he's long, athletic, and he has makeup speed at the cornerback position. A great quality to have, because usually corners are making up. And he plays the ball very well in the air, has the ability to adjust when the ball's in the air. And so, you know, when that happens, you just never know, because they got to go play. I think where you know is the running backs, those guys, you kind of get a sense. And then sometimes the wide receivers surprise you. I think, you know, we thought that Equanimous was going to be a good receiver for us, but maybe down the road, he's ready. I mean, that kid runs like a deer. And, you know, we've put him up against everybody, and he can run past you and can go up and get the football. But what I like about him the most, and the reason why I even brought up his name, is twice now he's sprained his ankle and he's been back in 24 hours. He's got toughness too. And, you know, when you get a freshman like that that's got that kind of toughness early on, you know you got something special there.
Nickel seems like it's moved Matthias back to safety.
Yes.
Is that the plan? And how nice is it to have a guy who's willing at this stage to move and fit wherever he needs to be?
Matthias is off the charts as a teammate, you know. There couldn't be, I mean, in terms of respect and for a player, I mean, he's a consummate team player, which you have to have, and he's going to help us somewhere, you know. But in certain situations, he'll play nickels. In certain situations, he'll play safety for us. Crawford gives us a little bit more versatility. But yeah, he gives us the ability to do a lot of things because we can move Matthias around. And, you know, we can move Kavari around a little bit too now with Coleman. So Coleman can play some corner. I can move Kavari in if I need to, match up with another inside player. We just have so much more flexibility than we did last year.
You haven't mentioned much about Corey Robinson. Is that a good thing? I mean, he's steady?
We just have so many guys that are, you know, Amir Carlos playing well, Chris Brown is playing well, Corey is continuing to do the job. We've got great depth at the wide receiver position. We're blessed there. So it's not a mission of not playing well as much as there's just so many guys there that can help us win football games. But no, Corey's is upped his game, continues to catch the football, staying on his feet, working on the little things from last year, and really pleased with what he's doing.
Ryan, when you lose a player like Jerron for the season, what's your method with the team? Do you say, hey, we got to step up, or do you just act like it's business as usual and not really make a big deal out of it?
You know, Eric, it's certain injuries happen that we sometimes don't even talk about. The players kind of deal with it internally, and we let it go and we move on. Sometimes we bring it up in front of the team, you know, and talk about it. So each injury is a little bit different, but what's the same is we move quickly through it to move on, because we know, every player knows that it's part of the game. But the situations definitely are different in a sense that, like, I made it a point to talk about Jerron at the end of practice today because he's a personality. He's a good player, and I don't mean to say that his personality is bigger than who he is as a player, but he's got a big personality. And so it was important to kind of talk about him, and that, you know, he's going to be missed for a lot of reasons, but primarily because of who he is as a kid.
Cool. Thanks,
all right.